the two of us decided to put on this show. And so we just rounded up people that we knew, and we were like, oh, we're going to call it LA Unbound. Get it? Haha. Like really never
Wow.
thinking that 20 years later,
wow,
like that this would still be a thing.
Dance Journey! With Tracy in LA. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to my podcast, Dance Journey. Today we have Betsy Colombo.
Hi.
I'm so excited to have Betsy. First of all, I didn't realize that Betsy had been listening to the podcast for a while.
Yes, I'm a podcast stan, Dance Journey stan.
I saw, how did I find out? Oh, I think I just saw you at a class and you said, oh, I love your podcast.
I left you a review.
And, right, I didn't know which one happened first. Then I noticed I don't usually sign into my Apple Podcast account because I do everything through Spotify and then it just automatically goes to Apple. So I happened to finally log into it. And I was like, oh, I have a comment. And it was from Betsy. And it was such a nice little review about how much she liked it and like having the variety of dancers on the podcast. And I'm like, oh, that's so nice. So then I was like, I wonder if she wants to be on it, which I had thought about you before because I know, well, I don't know your story, but I'm very curious to hear it because you do so much stuff with dance. And I think it's really cool, all the things that you are a part of and have helped start and everything. So I'm so excited to hear the story. But yeah, I know Betsy through LA Unbound, which I've been talking about that on, you probably hear me talk about it so much.
I have heard you mention it, yes.
I literally, if you go back to old episodes, I talk about LA Unbound so much, even before I ever auditioned for LA Unbound, because one of my good friends, I saw her in like 8 different shows before. Haley.
Yes, love
Haley Royal. She's amazing, such a good dancer. And I used to just be her roommate and go to her shows before I even started pursuing dance. I would just see her shows. Then I started pursuing dance, and then she'd be like, you should do Unbound. And I was like, I'm not good enough. And I was always too scared. And then I finally have been doing it, and it's been really helpful to get the performing experience and just like meet so many people. And now I've had so many people from Unbound on the podcast, but now Betsy, she is the co-founder of LA Unbound. So that's so exciting to finally have like the person behind it. And I have so many things to ask you, but before we get there, let's talk about the class we just took because this was your idea.
It was. Have you done ballet classes?
Yeah,
Okay.
I have. I haven't been doing them a lot lately, but I used to do them more at West Side Ballet.
Yes.
And I do the free ballet classes throughout Los Angeles Ballet, which is twice a month.
Yep.
So it's not often, but I really want to take more ballet.
Yes, I'm most comfortable in a ballet class because that was the only training. I guess we'll get into this, but that was my only training growing up was ballet.
Yeah. And so we took a class at Burbank Dance Academy.
Yes.
Which I had heard of. I had actually looked it up before, but I never took a class there. And so we took with Nicole Harlan.
Yes, I call it a secret ballet class because she does not advertise it. It's not posted. If you go to the Burbank Dance Academy's website, you will not see any information about this class. You just have to know that it's Mondays and Wednesdays at 11 and you show up with your cash and you take a secret ballet class.
It did feel like a secret ballet class to the point where I got here a little early. Apparently that is not what people do.
I think that's to fake out the people who like get wind of it and don't know.
That is so funny. If I had just shown up and didn't have a plan with you, I might have just left because I got here a little early and I couldn't go in the front way because they're doing some repairs. And there's a sign that says go around to the back. So I went around to the back. Then there was a guy there leaving in his car, and he was looking at me all weird. And he's like, are you going in there? And I was like, I think so. This is the dance studio, right? And he's like, yeah. And I'm like, yeah, I'm going in. He's like, who are you meeting there?
Yeah, the other secret is that the class does not start on time.
I was like, well, I'm taking a class. Isn't there a class starting? He's like, nobody's in there. It was so funny.
What's the secret password?
It literally felt like he was part of the staging for this secret class because I felt so weird. Like, I think there's no class here. I started texting Betsy. I'm like, I think I'm at the right place, but this guy is kind of telling me to leave because he was like, I was about to lock everything up. I'm not sure if I should let you in or not. And I was like, I don't know what is going on. It was so funny. Then he called somebody to find out, and then he said, oh, it doesn't start till 11:30. And I was like, oh, really? Then someone else showed up who was opening up the building, and she said, no, it starts at 11. And then it all got cleared up.
Yeah.
But that was hilarious. It definitely felt like a secret ballet class. But then a lot of people showed up, though.
Yeah.
It wasn't like, I was like, is it just going to be me and Betsy? But no, it was a good size, and I really, really liked it. It was definitely, Betsy was like, it's not a beginner ballet class. I was like, shoot.
Yeah. I mean, it's not advanced, but yeah, Nicole's a fantastic teacher. She's a former professional ballet dancer. And I used to take her class, I was telling you, at Old Edge about 15 years ago, I think.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
Edge. I miss Edge.
I
mean, I
know.
didn't know Edge as long as you did, and I only took ballet a little bit there later on, right before they closed. But yeah, Nicole was great, very nice, encouraging, but also very good at honing in on helping different people and giving good tips and just reminding you where the muscles are coming from, what to use, that kind of thing. And it was such a good challenge. I felt like I learned a lot in just that class. I mean, it was a good length. It was an hour and a half or longer, I'm not sure. But
yes, she's a fantastic teacher.
So I would definitely recommend, if you live in the Burbank area or anywhere nearby or just want to drive, I think that was a really good class. And currently it's $15. So cash, get your cash. I did have to go to an ATM. But so that was a class we just took. But Betsy, I can't wait to hear how some of this stuff got started in your life. But right now, I first just want to ask, what does your dance life look like currently?
Currently, yes. I am spending at least 3 days a week at my own studio teaching. And then every day I'm doing things for LA Unbound and for Unbound Dance Studio, working from home as well. I take class when I can, not as much as I'd like to, but teaching little kids and dancing in the LA Unbound show and running LA Unbound and running the studio.
Wow. With the studio that you run, are you teaching there when you're there 3 times a week?
Yes, I teach 3 times a week, and I also am there just doing admin and other stuff on Saturdays, yeah.
And do you have help with running the studio, or do you just have other teachers and then you're doing everything?
No, Miss Sammy is my office manager.
Oh, nice.
Sammy Flores, who some of you may know from LA Unbound. She does a ton of the admin stuff for me. So she's there almost every day. She's there 5 days a week and does all the admin for our studio as well as teaches.
Wow. And we actually just saw Sammy because she also takes this class all the time, and I was honing in on her because she just happened to be in front of me when we were doing center work, and she has everything perfect.
She is a beautiful ballet dancer, and she also just can learn and retain choreography really well, which I cannot do, so I try to stand behind her whenever I can because I know she's going to know the combo.
Oh, yeah. I was definitely getting that from her, but okay, that's so cool. So she teaches, I knew she taught there, but I didn't realize she did a lot of admin too.
Correct.
And this is your newer studio because you lost the old one.
Correct.
Which was during the fires.
Yes. So we were located in Altadena, and our old location didn't burn down, but the fire damage was significant enough that we needed to relocate. So we moved into this new space in May of last year, May of 2025, and now we're in Pasadena.
Yeah. Are you liking it? Has it been a smooth enough transition into the new studio, or has it been hard?
It's been hard. I am loving it. The location is better. We have a little bit more room. I own this building rather than renting, which is a big change. But it has been really hard. There's been a lot of challenges that came with this building. We had a big plumbing fiasco, and then we had a roof disaster, and it's been a journey.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of your posts about all of the drama, and I'm actually very inspired by your endurance because, I mean, the fact that you've kept everything going since everything happened to your other studio, and now with the new studio, you had a few issues before.
Yes.
I mean, it's a lovely studio. I've been there. I had rehearsals there. I've taken class there. But you just keep going, and it just keeps continuing.
Yeah, I mean, what's the alternative, right?
I guess.
Just give up.
But a lot of people do give up,
Yeah.
or they feel like there's too many challenges, and I think it's so inspiring to see you take on the challenges. It's rough, it's not easy, and you're showing that it's hard, but you keep going. And I think a lot of dancers are like that, but to see you do that with the studio and with all these really big physical obstacles, and yet everyone's benefiting so much from your perseverance of it. Like, everyone is still coming, doing classes, doing all of that. So
I think it's really important to show that, especially to the kids, because we are a kids studio. the resilience that you sometimes need. Like, life can throw you a curveball. And these kids know it firsthand because a lot of them lost their homes. But, you know, when you're coming to class, it's more than just learning technique. They're seeing what it takes, you know, as a woman to be a small business owner. And I know, like, the younger ones obviously aren't really picking up on a lot of that, but hopefully some of the older ones are learning a little bit about that part of it as well.
Yeah, that's so good. It's so true. Any type of teacher, you're kind of role modeling your whole life, you know, even if it's not super direct, but that's really cool. So, okay, I want to hear so much about everything with how you got started with dance in your life.
Okay.
So, tell me where you grew up, how you got started in dance.
Sure. I am from Pennsylvania, Allentown, Pennsylvania.
Oh.
And my mom put me in dance when I was little, me and my sister. My sister's a couple years younger than me. And I don't remember how old we are. We were probably 5 and 3. But one of my earliest memories just in life is begging my mom to quit dance class.
Oh.
I don't remember why I didn't like it, but I distinctly remember her standing with the landline phone, like, "Are you sure you want to quit?" And I was like, "Mom, I've never been more sure of anything in my life. Like, I don't want to do this. I don't like it." And so I quit. And my sister and I quit.
She wanted to quit too.
Yeah, I mean, she was 3. She probably wanted to do whatever I was doing. But yeah, we quit. And then when I was 12, we walked by a studio near my house and it had like the obligatory like silhouette of a dancer on the window, and I was like, "Oh, I think I want to try dance again." And my sister did too. And so yeah, I tell people I started when I was 12 because I don't count however many months I did it when I was a toddler or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I was a little older. I was 12 when I really started dancing, and that studio was a pretty hardcore ballet studio. They didn't offer anything else. And since I was a little older when I started, I really like needed to catch up. So my teacher was like, okay, right away I was taking 2 classes a week, and then pretty soon that turned into 4 or 5 classes a week. I went on pointe when I was 14.
Wow.
So yeah.
And did your sister keep doing it with you and
She
going
did.
point too and everything?
She did, yep. She doesn't dance anymore, but she danced all through high school.
Wow.
Yep.
So as you got more and more into it, were you just taking more and more classes, or were you also performing?
Yeah, so my studio had like a pre-professional company.
Okay.
So I was dancing with them. So we would do a Nutcracker every year and then a spring ballet, you know, Capelia, Laffy, like
Okay.
old school ballets. So yeah, I was dancing in technically a pre-professional company. I never really got very good, but it was amazing to be part of, you know, that experience. And there are alums from that studio who dance, you know, professionally in New York City Ballet and stuff like that.
Wow.
So, yeah. So
And that was in Pennsylvania.
That was in
So
Pennsylvania.
interesting.
Mhm.
And you did that all through high school?
Yes.
And then what happened? Where did you go to college, or did you go to
I
college?
went to college in upstate New York. I went to Ithaca College,
Okay.
which is pretty significant to this whole story, because when, like, right away when I got to school, to college, I knew that I wanted to dance. And so I was taking ballet classes, and then I saw that there was a student dance company, and it was called IC Unbound. So IC for Ithaca College.
Okay.
And Unbound. I don't know who came up with the name IC Unbound. It was not me, but whoever it was kind of created this whole, you know, legacy. I don't even know.
Wait, what did you study in college, though?
I studied communications.
Oh, okay.
Our school didn't have a dance major. I was a dance minor. But again, I knew like that this wasn't going to, I didn't think at the time that it was going to be my career.
And that was just because you thought that you weren't good enough? Would you have wanted it to be your career, but you just thought you weren't?
I knew that I wasn't like technically a good enough dancer to dance professionally, but I guess I thought maybe I could do marketing for a dance company, could maybe be an option. So I studied communications. At the time, I was also very into music. So ultimately, I ended up moving to LA. I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself, but I ended up moving to LA to work in the music industry.
Oh.
And that like, and by music, I mean I was doing like social media before social media was a thing for like indie record labels.
Oh.
Like, I'm not a musician, but I really was into like pop punk and emo music and stuff. And so I came out here to work for some music companies.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
But, yeah, so I had like lots of other interests aside from dance, but I just wanted to keep dancing. So I, first semester freshman year, went and auditioned for the student dance company, Unbound, and then immediately got involved with the executive board. Like I became their marketing person.
Oh.
And that's where I met Danielle Jarvis, who is an LA Unbound, a dancer, and she helps out with a lot of stuff. Administratively as well, but we met through Unbound first semester freshman year and danced together like the whole time in college.
Wow, that's so cool.
Mm-hmm. And a couple other LA Unbounders, Susie, Jackie, our first LA Unbound show had more Ithaca kids, but
So in the beginning, it was the Ithaca Unbound.
So,
company.
So what happened was I danced for all 4 years with Unbound, and then, like I said, I moved to LA to work in the music industry. And Ithaca College also has a really big film and TV program. So a lot of kids from Ithaca move out to LA to do film and TV. So when I moved out here, I realized how many friends I had out here from Unbound. So how many dancer friends were out here. And I was like, you know what? What if we all got together and did a show?
Hi, everyone. Tracy in LA here. I just want to take a moment to talk to you guys about donations. If you've been liking either of my podcasts, Tracy in LA, the podcast that's about my personal life, or Dance Journey podcast, where I interview dancers and try to help dancers connect more with each other by sharing their stories and being authentic and encouraging and inspiring each other. If you're liking either of these podcasts, please consider donating. You can Venmo me at Tracy in LA, TracyInLA, just like my Instagram. I've been doing these podcasts I've been doing Dance Journey for a couple years now. I started the personal one a few months ago, and I love doing them. I feel called to do both of them for different reasons, but it does take a lot of time, the editing, the planning, the preparing, the shooting of them. And I have gone through all of my savings since I quit my corporate job a couple years ago, and I've just been relying on odd jobs here and there, people letting me live with them in exchange for taking care of their pets and organizing their house and things like that. And it's been amazing. God's been providing for me, but a lot of it is from people giving. So I just want to be a little more direct and open to telling you guys that I would love, if you are listening to these and enjoying them, if you could give financially. That would be so helpful for me to keep going. Please Venmo Tracy in LA, or if there's another way you want to give, please reach out and I can give you any details you need for any way that is your preference for giving. And literally any amount helps, whatever makes sense for you in your current financial situation. I would just love it. I don't have commercials on here, and I don't make money from any of this, and it's a lot of work, and it is a labor of love. It's something that I love to do, but it is a lot. And if you're part of the community of listening to these podcasts, it would be so cool if you could also be part of my financial support. If you want to know more details about the money that I currently have and what I need, I talk about that pretty openly on my personal podcast. So if you want to hear those details, you can start listening to those. Or my email newsletter. You could sign up for my email newsletter. There's a link to that in my Instagram bio, and I send those out usually once a month, and I give more details about my money as well, and just tell fun stories and things God is doing. So yeah, thanks for listening to this. Thanks for considering donating, and back to the podcast.
I was taking a lot of classes, and I was dancing with a tiny little contemporary ballet company. And the venue that we used was like a little black box theater. And I was like, oh, we could easily do a show here. And I just rounded up some friends from Unbound. Danielle didn't live here yet at this point.
Okay.
But my good friend Elizabeth, who I was living with, she was one of my roommates, and she had been an Unbound dancer. That's how I knew her. The two of us decided to put on this show. And so we just rounded up people that we knew, and we were like, oh, we're going to call it LA Unbound. Get it? Haha. Like really never thinking that 20 years later, that this would still be a thing. So Elizabeth and I put on the first show. There were 24 dancers in the show, and we performed at this little black box theater. It was a studio called Dance Studio Number 1. I don't know if that studio still exists. It was on the west side. Definitely that location isn't there anymore, but I believe they moved somewhere else and they might still be around. But anyway, we actually had a rule that every dance had to have at least one IC Unbound alumni in it. And the other dancers who we didn't know from IC Unbound were just friends that we had met through class or through this contemporary dance company that I was dancing with, or friends of friends, whatever. It was just kind of who wants to come be in this show.
And did you guys, going back a little, did you take all different kinds of dance classes in college? Because you did ballet almost your whole life.
Yes. I took modern dance also in college because I had to for my minor. But modern was not my favorite. But that was it. Ballet and modern. They did have a tap class, I believe. There was no hip hop. There was no contemporary. That was it.
When you came to LA, did you take classes in different styles or still mostly ballet?
Ballet.
Okay.
Yep.
And then your friends who were part of the show, did they do different styles?
Yes.
Like, was the first show different styles or all ballet?
Absolutely. It was different styles.
Okay.
Yes, 100%. Yeah, the first studio I started going to when I moved to LA in 2004, and it took me a minute to get my bearings because I had no job, no money, no place to live.
Yeah.
Like, I was sleeping on someone's floor. And then when I finally felt a little settled, I was living with Elizabeth in Silver Lake, so the two of us went together to Studio A and took our first LA class, a ballet class at Studio A. So it was kind of a full circle moment because some of the kids from my kids' studio just performed a couple weeks ago at Dance Spot at Studio A. So I was telling them, like, I have been coming to this studio for 20-some years. It's crazy.
And that was the first LA Unbound show I ever saw was performed at Studio A.
Yes, we've done a couple of shows there.
And I actually loved it. It was a smaller setting, but it was so cool to be so close up.
Yes.
And I remember being so impressed. I mean, that was my first show that I saw, but I was like, wow, everybody's so good. And I don't remember the last time I went to a dance show. I mean, I'm from Chicago, and I remember going to some sort of like Hubbard Street dance or something in the city, but I really hadn't seen any kind of dance show in years, and I was just so impressed and inspired. And it didn't necessarily make me want to do dance like right that second, but I just thought it was so cool seeing them all up close and how good everybody was. And I love that space and love that was part of your story. Like,
we've done a bunch of shows there. Some people really like it. There's definitely something different and cool and fun about like an intimate performance venue and being close to the audience.
Seems scarier as a performer anyways.
It can be.
For me, I think it would be.
It can be because it can be very distracting to see someone in the audience, and it's hard to not do that when they're 5 feet away from you.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I used to do acting, and there was a few times we did a play or something in a smaller venue, and you do not want to catch the eye of your friend or something, trying to stay in character. But, okay, so you guys did these shows with just like 25 people, and I imagine it was just, you didn't have a lot of structure to it in the beginning.
Yes. We did have auditions, but they were structured differently. And then we had to, it's been a work in progress, kind of as things come up. We've reorganized the way we do things as we've grown. Honestly, never put on that first show thinking that this was going to be like a long-term thing. Yeah. At all. So,
wow.
Yeah.
So it just developed and you just kept growing, getting bigger, having more people interested, and choreographing for it. Is that kind of what happened?
Yes. Yeah, we did our first 3 shows at that small theater, and our 4th show, we moved to the El Portal Theater.
Okay.
And that was our home for quite a while.
I like that place, too. I did see a bunch of shows there, too.
Yeah, love that theater. We just started growing as people started telling their friends about the opportunity, because really there's not much else like LA Unbound in LA, and so dancers know dancers, and people have just spread the word. Word of mouth has been probably our biggest draw for dancers.
Yeah. Did some of the ways that you do things come about because you noticed there was a need, or just because just the way you do it where, you know, you don't have to bring a headshot. You just take a picture there, and it only costs like a small amount of money to register, but then you can be in, you know, quite a few pieces, and then you get all this experience. And even the way you hold the auditions and try to be inclusive, like try to cast everyone in one piece as much as you can. And like all of those kind of things, did that sort of develop as you noticed that was a good way to be more inclusive of dancers? Or hello everyone, I wanted to remind you quickly that if you haven't bought my book, The Tracy in LA Newsletters 2010, please get it. It's on Amazon. You can get the paperback version or you can get the Kindle version. It is a compilation of a bunch of actual letters I wrote and sent in the actual mail back in 2010, when I was first living in LA pursuing acting. A bunch of my friends who didn't live in LA thought it was so interesting that I was pursuing acting and wanted to hear more about it. So I basically just am super vulnerable. I talk about all the things I was going through, the doubts I was having, the struggles I was having, finding agents, getting auditions, making friends, visiting different churches, like totally just pour myself out in these letters. And I didn't really necessarily think I would ever publish them, but I went back all these years later and decided to edit them, change some names, and make it in a way where I could actually publish it and release it to the public. So that's what this is. I'm working on the 2011 letters right now. I have quite a few years that I did this, and people really liked it when I did it initially. And now I've gotten some good feedback on the book as well, even from people that like never read it initially or didn't know me back then. It sort of feels like a period piece now because it's like from 2010. So some of the language I use is just different. And, you know, I talk about burned CDs and things like that. So anyway, I think it's kind of fun, and hopefully you could relate because most of you probably are in LA doing similar things. So I hope you can get it and enjoy it. And if you like it, please leave a review on Amazon, and yeah, let me know what you think, and thank you for your support.
The idea of being inclusive and welcoming and finding a place for everyone was there from the beginning and has never changed. Okay. Elizabeth and I both felt in our hearts that this was going to be a place for anyone who wanted to dance.
That's so cool.
Yeah. A lot of the other stuff has changed, though. We did not used to charge a registration fee. That came about because we had a lot of people dropping. So a lot of dancers would come, audition, and then, like, after the show was cast, decide they didn't want to do it or just, like, very flaky. And so charging a small registration fee helps us weed out the flakes, essentially. Yeah.
Oh, that's a really good point.
Yes, and we used to audition, like, in this crazy way. We used to audition each dance individually, which, can you even imagine? Like, it was not as efficient as we are now.
Did
like,
every choreographer do the audition?
Every choreographer would get up and be like, here's my dance, and show part of it. And if you were interested, you would get up and learn part of that dance. And, like, with 25 pieces? Oh, my gosh.
You were doing that with 25 pieces?
Yeah.
How long was that audition?
Well, okay, so our first couple shows did not have 25 pieces. But, yeah, we pretty quickly realized that that was not really a sustainable model for doing auditions.
But that is how you would normally think, because before I knew how the auditions worked, that is kind of what I was thinking in my head. And even this last season, I was explaining it to some people who were standing in line, because they also thought, oh, do you audition for every choreographer?
Yes.
And I remember thinking when I first experienced the audition, like, oh, this is such an efficient, good way that they do it. Yes. But yeah, it probably took you a little bit to realize.
If we had a show with 6 dances, like, sure, that would make a lot of sense. But yeah, we can't do it that way anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's so, and if you don't know, they have someone teach a different style, and they audition like 5 or 6 styles or something.
Yeah.
So tap, musical theater, hip hop. And it's usually someone who isn't choreographing for the show.
Correct.
Or maybe, I don't know.
Yes, it's always someone who isn't choreographing, because all the choreographers are able to just sit and watch, and they don't need to worry about teaching any choreo. So someone will teach a ballet combo, and anyone who is interested in casting someone with ballet experience gets to watch. They get to watch the whole process of them learning the combo and picking it up and then performing it. And lots of our choreographers will watch multiple styles, as you know, to see how people's bodies move and how they do with different styles.
Yeah, they always encourage us, even if you're mostly auditioning for hip hop or something, because you put down which pieces you're interested in being cast in. And so even if all of them are hip hop, they would still say, do as many styles as you want so that the choreographers have more opportunity to see you. Also, there's just a lot of people, so that way they can see you more times, kind of see you in different environments and different styles. So I love that. It's really a fun day. It's a fun day of being able to take
5 or 6 mini dance classes.
A bunch of classes, and it's kind of like you're just performing your classes. I'm just doing my classes for a bunch of people, which, like, for someone like me who doesn't have a lot of experience with dance auditions, it's just been a really cool, fun way to, like, ease into that environment when it's there's not a lot of pressure. I put pressure on myself because I want to do good, but the environment is actually very welcoming. I remember my first season auditioning, I was like, wow, that was so fun. I got people to come who had never come before, even though I also had never done it before. I was like, yeah, there's this thing. I mean, I was advertising LA Unbound long before I ever did it. So I got all these people to come with me.
You knew about the company from coming to the shows.
And me and my friends did the audition. I just remember having so much fun that day, just like cheering each other on. It didn't feel competitive. It felt like we all just wanted each other to do well. And I always have just spoke so highly of it. And it's so cool to see how, I don't know, do you think that because of your own thinking about yourself, how you felt like you weren't good enough, which, I mean, I think you're an amazing dancer, but like your thought process of that as you were growing up, do you think that's what kind of helped you to have this strong mission to be so inclusive of everyone who wants to dance?
I think so. Yeah. I mean, I do believe, and I think have proven that dance is for everyone, and there is a place for everyone in a show. You don't have to be the most technically talented dancer to be a good performer. We're all doing this for fun because we love dance. The audience isn't going to care if you can do 32 fouettes. Like, if you're on that stage and you're smiling and you're having fun, like, that's entertaining, and that's a good performance.
And sometimes I've been more entertained watching an LA Unbound show than I have watching a professional dance company show. Even if they are, you know, truly amazing, which they usually are to any kind of professional dance company. But the fun that you see everybody have with LA Unbound, and it's also really well done too. I feel like with all the dress rehearsals that you guys hold and the notes that are always given.
Yes.
It's like a good balance of let's have fun and let's build relationships, but also let's do the best we can. It doesn't have to be perfect, but if we have ways we can improve it, let's do that. Let's help each other. Let's tell each other what could be better and that kind of thing. And I really like that.
Yeah, we provide a lot of feedback to our choreographers, and it's all like peer feedback. It's from other dancers, other choreographers, and it's just notes to help them get their dance looking the best it can for show day.
Yeah. It's just with the idea of helping one another. I think you always want to be encouraging, but still be honest and help people grow at what they love to do and get better. And there is a place for anyone who wants to dance. And even someone who thought that they weren't going to do dance with their life is totally doing dance with their life.
Yep.
So talk about the other things. Like, how did you end up starting your studio?
Yeah, so LA Unbound started in 2007.
Okay.
And I opened my kids' studio in 2018. And kind of what had happened was that I saw a lot of our original members starting to get married and settle down and have kids. And I was actually pregnant with my first kid when the studio opened. And I was kind of thinking, well, what's next for all of us? And where are all of our kids going to go dance, and what if we could keep inspiring the next generation of dancers and like just kind of expand on this dance family that we've created. And I had a friend at the time who was a teacher in Altadena, and she was like, you should come up here. There's no other dance studios up here. It's an amazing community of wonderful people. And that's how I ended up in Altadena. But now we have lots of LA Unbounders who live in that area, and a bunch of them who have kids who come dance at the studio. And what's amazing, and probably one of my like favorite parts of this whole process, is when sometimes we have the kids come dance in the LA Unbound shows, or in a Nutcracker, it's like mixed kids and adults, and we get to have performances where parents and kids get to perform together. It's just like That's so
cool.
magical, like to dance in a performance with your kid, whether they're 5 or 12 or whatever, or to dance in a show with your mom. Like, I just love that.
That's so cool. But did you know anything about starting the studio?
Okay, good question. No, I actually had never taught dance classes. I was not a dance teacher at all. And
but you choreographed for Unbound.
I had been dancing and choreographing for quite a while and taking classes and all that. I had been very involved in the dance community and had a lot of friends. A lot of our Unbounders are dance teachers. And when we opened the studio, I wasn't teaching. Like, I wasn't ever planning to be like the main teacher or anything. A lot of people open studios because they're a dance teacher and they want to do it their own way or whatever. That really wasn't where I was coming from. One of our LA Unbounders, my dear friend Katie Hagen, who has since moved to Colorado, was my first main teacher. I knew her through LA Unbound. I knew she was a fantastic dance teacher.
I saw her. She was in a lot of the shows that I saw.
You've seen
she
her
stood
dance.
out to me because she was very good.
She's a wonderful dancer and an even more wonderful human. Love her so much. So she was our main teacher, and I learned most of what I know about teaching dance, I learned from her because our first studio was very small. The desk, which I was our admin person, was inside the studio. It was like in a corner of the studio. So I was like essentially in the room for every class she taught. So, and then I would like assist her when she had a lot of littles or whatever, and I owe a lot of what I know about teaching dance to Katie, who is just amazing with kids, just a great teacher all around. So I kind of learned on the job, and then I started teaching as well. And I love it. But yeah, that was not my experience. And I know that's different from a lot of people that open studios. But I also, even now that I do teach, I never want to be like the main teacher or teach a bunch of classes. I think there's just so much to be said for being able to take class from a variety of different people. I hire a lot of people with different strengths. We have 8 different teachers so that everyone can teach what they're best at. And we have lots of people to sub, and like the kids get to learn from different people. And I just really like having a variety of people with different dance backgrounds on our staff.
And do you enjoy doing admin work, or is it more just like you're so driven by the mission and the purpose that you can do it?
I enjoy some of it. What I don't enjoy, I get to pass off to Sammy.
Thanks, Sammy.
I really enjoy, every year we add on to our program, and every year we kind of reevaluate what we're offering, and we have a performance team program, so like these kids that join take multiple classes a week, and they do different performances and have a photo shoot and different things that the kids who are just coming once a week don't get to do. So like growing that program has been really fun for me, and so we've just started like taking our dancers to conventions. We will never be a competition studio. That's not part of our plan for a variety of reasons, but there's lots of other ways that we can grow the studio, and there's lots of things that these kids can still do, lots of performances and different opportunities that we want to give them. So that's kind of been my focus, is like just growing the opportunities that we're going to give our kids. But yeah, I like both aspects of it. I like kind of managing it and coming up with new ideas and planning, and I love planning. Like, our themed recitals are always really fun and cute, and picking out costumes and music and making that all come together. I think producing performances is probably my favorite part of the whole thing. And now I get to do it 3 times a year with LA Unbound and the recitals and stuff. So, like, that's probably my favorite part overall of what I do.
Wow. That's so cool. What were you doing before you started the studio, like outside of LA Unbound?
I was working for a movie trailer company. That was my day job. That's where I met Sabrina, who's another LA Unbounder.
Yeah.
She was an editor at
cool.
Trailer Park, which is one of the bigger movie trailer houses in Los Angeles. I was working as an assistant editor, and I had that job for the first full year that the studio was open. So I was working a full-time job and getting the studio up and running. I mean, that's how I afforded it. You know, I was paying everything out of pocket. It's not cheap to start a business. So I needed to have that full-time job. So up until the end of 2018, I always had a full-time job. LA Unbound has never paid any bills for me or anything. But yeah, now running the studio is my full-time job.
Wow. Do you love the way that LA Unbound is going, and you're like, yeah, we're just going to keep it going like this as long as possible? Or do you have vision for, the same way you get vision for new things for your studio, do you also have vision for like new ways with LA Unbound or new things you'd like to see with it? Or it's just, I mean, I think it's great as it is, but you just seem like a visionary who comes up with new things. Do you have anything like that for LA Unbound? Or I don't even know if you could share it, but.
That's a great question. I don't know. And that's something it's been on my mind a lot because next year we're celebrating our 20th year as a company. And I'm trying to think, what does that mean? Like, how are we going to celebrate? Because we've always celebrated our milestones. Like our 10th show, we did like a kind of a retrospective of like our favorite dancers. And then when we had our 20th show, we did some fun thing. Like we try to celebrate these milestones. So that has been on my mind. And I feel like a lot of the changes and things that I've done with LA Unbound have been more reactionary than proactive.
Yeah, okay.
And I'd like to be more proactive about making changes that are gonna benefit the company. But I mean, to answer your question, I don't know. I don't. The company is always changing and evolving, so certainly I expect that it will continue to change and evolve. But I can't tell you right now what that would look like.
I mean, that makes sense. I feel like it's so good as it is, and it makes sense to have reactionary changes. You're like, oh, that didn't work last time. Maybe we need to fix the way we do this.
Exactly.
And it's interesting that you've done all of this, but you also ended up starting a family.
Yes.
Has that been crazy, juggling everything?
The craziest part is that I have like a really close group of mom friends that I've met through LA Unbound. And out of that whole group of mom friends, my own children are the only ones who don't dance.
And is this because they just don't want to? Did you try to get them to?
I certainly tried. I have two boys. They're 4 and 7. And my 4-year-old actually has been in the last couple recitals at the studio.
Oh, okay. But
they don't want anything to do with it.
What do they like to do?
They like to play video games. So that honestly has been something that I've kind of just needed to process. As when you become a mom, you kind of have these ideas of like, or at least I did. I thought my kids might be at least somewhat like me.
Yeah.
They might share some of my interests, but they are their own little people, and they want nothing to do with dance, and that's fine. Maybe when they're 12.
I was going to say, I mean, at their age, didn't you also want nothing to do with dance?
Yep, you're
so
right.
Maybe they are taking after you, and maybe it will hit them later.
Absolutely.
Who knows?
Yeah. Who knows what's going to happen? But yes, that's another reason that I never really wanted to be at the studio every single day, teaching all the classes and whatnot. I wanted to be, around for my kids and to be involved in their lives, to be able to be there for them for whatever they want to do, pick them up from school, make them dinner, all that.
Well, I love hearing, it seems like your heart is really in everything, just everything you started. You have such a good mission and heart for people, and then coming even to your own kids. Even though it's a little bit disappointing, your heart is for them. Like, what do they want to do? What can I be there for them for that they like? And
yes.
So that's really, really cool. I just love seeing your heart shine through everything that you do.
Oh, thank you.
I'm not surprised. I feel like the very first, I think you were the one that I talked to. Okay, I didn't know if I was going to share this, but I actually, and you probably remember this maybe, but I actually did audition for Unbound a few years before I ended up actually doing it, because I used to be obsessed with my class schedule, like all the classes. I used to have a regular job. I used to have a lot more money, and I spent like $1,000 on classes every month. I was taking class like every single day. I was obsessed. I got really obsessed with my classes. And so I kept sort of wanting to do LA Unbound, but I was like, no, because then I'm not going to be able to take all my classes I take every day. It's going to mess up my schedule. Okay. So the first time I finally decided to audition, I was so picky because I was like, can't miss this class, can't miss this class, can't miss this class. So I literally think I put down 3 pieces that I was interested in. Well, to be honest, I'm actually still sort of picky, but it's not for the same reasons. But it was my first time. I'm like, I know you're supposed to put a bunch down, but I literally don't want to miss my classes. So I only put like 3. And those 3, I was like, these look really cool, and they're on the night that I can do. And so I ended up getting cast in kind of like a piece that was very difficult. It was a lot more advanced than I expected it to be. And so I went to the first rehearsal, and I was actually like, oh my gosh, I think this is going to be too much for me. There was just like a lot of moves. There's a lot of very athletic floor work, and I I thought it looked cool, but I got so stressed out about it. And all week I was like looking up TikToks and things to try to learn some of the moves that they were teaching us in the first rehearsal. And I didn't really understand how, like, with the LA Unbound performances, you know, some people might come out for certain parts and other people might do other parts. Like, I had never done this before. So when that was my first rehearsal, I got so stressed, and all week, and I had a regular 9-to-5 job, and I'm like, and I had my other classes, and I'm like, I don't have time to try to learn these crazy moves, and I have not performed on a stage dance like ever. And I don't think I should be trying to do these moves that I don't know how to do the first time I'm performing. And it wasn't anything that LA Unbound did wrong. It was like, because I only put a few pieces and you guys try to cast everyone and everything. Yes. And so I got in this piece, which was cool. But I was so stressed out. So I remember just like politely declining to that choreographer. Like, I think this piece isn't for me. It's too advanced. And she was like, oh, did you let LA Unbound know or something? So I think I emailed you guys to let you know. And I'm pretty sure you were the one that was talking to me about it.
Probably.
Because you might not remember this at all, but you were actually like so nice. And it put such a nice, I already loved LA Unbound before even ever doing it. But the way that you responded to me with my concerns, and because I was really just trying to tell you that I was like dropping it, but I also kind of shared what happened, and you were just so kind about it, and just like, oh, you know, do you think you could talk to her? And just, there's probably certain parts you could do and other parts you wouldn't do. Or you're like, or do you want me to help you find a different piece you want to be in? And you were so nice about it. And I was like, no, I can't because my class schedule, blah, blah, blah. But there was like 3 or 4 emails back and forth, and it was so nice. And I remember talking to Haley about it and being like, telling her what happened and being like, Betsy was so nice about it. And she just kept sending me emails to make sure I felt like included and that I could still do something if I wanted to. And so just hearing like your heart now behind why you started everything and how you do it, it just is so fitting. It's so real because I'm like, that's what I experienced with you even before knowing you or anything about you. So I just wanted to share that because that was actually the first time I ever like got to know you, even though you probably don't remember.
I don't. I'm sorry. But
I'm kind of glad you don't remember.
To be honest, like that happens fairly often. Okay. You know, like someone will get put in a piece that they feel isn't for them, and I mean, yeah, of course I'm gonna try to work with them to figure something out. Yeah.
Well, that's so nice. I don't think that every company would do that. They'd just be like, okay, thanks for letting me know.
Right.
But you seem really caring about like each person, and I think that's really, really cool. We're kind of going to wrap it up. So I usually ask people like, do you have any other dance dreams or goals you're trying to hit? I mean, when I look at your life, I feel like you're doing it all. Like, I don't even know. To me, it just seems like you're doing all these things you love. But do you have anything in the back of your mind that you're like, I have 2 questions.
Okay.
I'm like, do you see yourself in LA forever? Like, do you like being here? Because some people will be like, oh, I want to raise a family somewhere else. But you have your family here. You have everything you're doing here. Do you still feel like LA feels like the same place it was when you first came here to pursue different things? And also, do you have any other goals? You're like, I would also still like this one thing to happen with dance.
Okay. Well, one of those questions is very easy, and one is not.
Okay.
Yes, 100%. I'm not leaving LA. Like,
okay.
There's nowhere else I'd rather live.
Okay.
I have so many friends here. My family's here. Like, yeah, you're stuck with me, LA.
Nice.
I moved here in 2004, like right after I graduated college. This is my home. But your other question is harder. I don't know what's next, and I feel like I am kind of a very goal-oriented person. I'm always like, okay, what's next? You know, I got married. I had kids. I bought a house. I opened my studio. The last big goal that was on my list was buying a commercial property. And I did that last year. I bought the building that our new studio is in. And that was the end of my list. And but that doesn't mean I'm done. You know, that doesn't mean I've accomplished everything I'm going to accomplish in my life. So I've really been trying to figure this out. Wow. And I'm going to take suggestions, throw them in the suggestion box. I don't know. I don't know what's next because for a long time I was living in survival mode. You know, I opened the studio. I was struggling to get it off the ground. Then COVID happened, and then we recovered from that. And then the fire happened, and like I finally feel like we're kind of back in a good place. A couple years ago, like myself and my younger son had like a bunch of health issues, and like we were struggling with that. And like now everybody's healthy and in a good place, and like all the dust has settled from like the chaos of the last couple years, and now I'm kind of in this place where I am able to think about what's going to be next, and I don't know.
Wow.
I don't know.
That's so interesting because you do seem like such a go-getter. Like anything you put your mind to, it could happen or will happen. And to think that you don't have that thing yet is kind of exciting because probably something is going to come at some point.
That is a glass half full way to look at it. It's exciting.
I mean,
I don't know.
It's probably weird for you to just kind of sit in where you're at.
It is weird. Like sometimes I don't have any work to do, and that feels very weird.
Wow.
Right? I know everyone thinks I'm so busy, but like
think of things. Now I'm just kidding.
I have been crafting a lot of recital props recently, and that's been very fun. But I do that because I want to, and it's fun.
Yeah.
I don't know, but I'm trying to figure it out.
Are you in? I forgot to ask this. Are you in a bunch of pieces this season for Unbound?
I'm just doing one piece.
Yeah, you told me that. You're just doing one.
And the spring shows, I can't be in a lot of pieces because I also choreograph a bunch for our recital.
Right.
And it's just a busy time of the year. And I also just can't keep a lot of choreography in my brain. So I have like 5 dances for the recital and then 1 piece for the Unbound show.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I mean, it seems like you're pretty busy. Even though you say, I don't know.
I guess comparatively for me.
Okay. Compared to dealing with the fires.
Not every single second of my day is booked.
Yeah. Which is why you had time for this podcast.
I'm trying to teach myself how to rest.
Oh, it's hard.
It's hard.
It's hard. I am in a season of life where I'm very busy and have stuff to do all the time, but I'm still trying to make myself like, okay, Sundays, mostly don't do work.
Yeah.
I try to do the whole day of not doing work. But if I can even get like part of the day where I don't do work, because otherwise I just don't want to get burned out.
Yeah.
But it's hard. But it's actually so inspiring that you're at a place where you actually do have some time for rest, but need to learn how to do it.
Yes.
Yeah. Maybe that's your next goal.
I do
Maybe
feel a lot of
fun
guilt
rest
around
things.
days that I'm not very productive, which I need to let go of that.
I had that when I got sick for 2 weeks. Even though I was so sick, I felt like this weird feeling of I'm not editing, I'm getting behind, all this stuff, even though who am I behind for? It's like myself.
Right.
I made up these timelines. No one else is like worrying about it. Like it's fine. But anyway, well, Betsy, it was so fun to just hear your whole story, and it just fits with everything I already knew about you. Do you have any last encouraging words or advice to dancers or people that might want to dance? Or you don't have to, but
I mean, certainly I would encourage anyone who is interested to come join Unbound. Truly, truly, we want to dance with anyone who wants to be part of it. And if you're not sure, you're like, what is this? I don't know. Then come see one of our shows.
Yeah.
Reach out to me if you like help usher or something. You can come watch the show for free. Yeah.
very
I
cool.
don't think we're going anywhere, so.
So good to hear. I didn't think it was, but
Yeah.
it's good to confirm it. Anyway, yes, definitely, if you're thinking about it, come see a show. It took me like 8 shows till I decided to do it. Hopefully it won't take you as long. But anyways, love hearing the behind the scenes. Thank you guys for listening. Thank you, Betsy, for doing this.
Thank
you
you.
for telling me about an awesome ballet class, Burbank Dance
Yeah.
Academy. Check it out with Nicole Harlan. Find the secret ballet class.
You have to contact us for the secret password.
Okay, well, thank you guys for listening and watching, and we'll talk to you next time. Bye.